Faculty, staff, friends and family, and graduating students. I'm so honored to speak to you today, even if it's just sitting here in my backyard rather than on a stage. In the last few months, I've seen our UW CEE community almost effortlessly adapt to learning and working in a remote setting. And in the last couple of weeks, I've seen our community band together in the wake of the Black Lives Matter movement and start taking drastic, measurable actions to make our department a better, more inclusive space for all students. These first steps have only increased the pride that I take in having graduated from this department. However, the conversations I've had have also highlighted many more ways in which we, as both the department and industry, are far from perfect. Even in my short time as a student, I met a lot of civil engineers. And while so many of these interactions led to wonderful connections, I had a few experiences that left me feeling discouraged about the future of our industry. From young engineers insisting that sustainable infrastructure would never be a reality, to older engineers claiming that we have no more social issues to fix in our industry. And I know that many of my classmates have had worse encounters than mine, or more of them, all of which have led to them feeling like they didn't belong in civil and environmental engineering, or as that they didn't belong in this department. To those students, we can't give that time back to you, but I'm sorry that we didn't do more. Know that you and your experiences moving forward are at the forefront of my mind, and combating racism and oppression should be at the forefront of all of our minds moving forward. With all that said, you, my classmates, are all some of the most inspiring and open-minded people I've ever met. I've learned so much from all of you, and I'm immensely proud to call you my friends and colleagues. And knowing all of you, I have so much faith in our collective ability to make huge differences in our industry. It's just going to take some time, learning, and effort to make these changes happen. Regardless of how we're ending our time in this program, remember to take pride in what we've gone through to get to this finish line. With our metaphorical degrees in hand, I hope we can all take the time to reflect on how much time, effort, anxiety, and personal sacrifice went into getting a degree in civil or environmental engineering. That we can reflect on the friends we made and the experiences we shared while students here. And most importantly, I hope that each of us can be intentional about the way we lead our careers from this point forward. Congratulations to all of the graduates this year. I'm so proud to call you my friends and colleagues, and I can't wait to see all of the amazing things that you will do. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Civil and Environmental Engineering class of 2020. Thank you for giving me the honor of speaking at our graduation. Like many of you, this isn't exactly how I imagined our last quarter would go or how our graduation would look, but it certainly doesn't diminish the incredible 4 years that I've had at UW and the past 2 years that I've spent studying a discipline I love with some of the kindest people I've met. I'm especially grateful for my friends in the environmental engineering cohort and in ASCE who managed to make even the most difficult of days enjoyable. I wouldn't be here without our incredible advisors, Brian, Charlotte, and Mariko, who helped me squeeze courses into my sophomore year schedule when I thought it was too late, encouraged me to keep pushing forward during challenging times, and connected me with the faculty who would become invaluable mentors. Early meetings with Professors Heidi Goff and Michael Dodd gave me the confidence to pursue the environmental engineering major that they were instrumental in designing, and their continued support has shaped me into the engineer that I am today. Working in Dr. Goff's lab showed me that, while research is largely technical, the work we do with people and how we interact with our peers is just as important in producing high-impact results. The more engineering courses I took, the more I realized how inseparable our work is from the way the world looks. Good engineers account for the communities they serve and work tirelessly to ensure that both the environment and the public are protected. Though my path to engineering wasn't straightforward, I would be remiss not to acknowledge the privilege that I have as a white man entering a field controlled by other white men. It's no secret that civil and environmental engineering plays a fundamental role in constructing and sustaining systemic racism, and that the demography of our discipline is woefully lacking in diversity. I ask that those of us with privilege use it to unequivocally advocate for socially responsible engineering in compliance with a high ethical standard. I also ask that we practice anti-racism and anti-sexism every day, and that we work to support the advancements of women, non-cisgender people, and people of color within our field. I am fortunate to be among a fiercely intelligent and compassionate graduating class. It's our duty as the next generation of engineers to work to dismantle the systemic issues within our workplaces and in the infrastructures we design. This is no easy task, but I know it's one we're capable of. Our department has challenged us, inspired us, and prepared us to make an impact after graduation. Graduating with an engineering degree from UW is an immense honor, and I can't wait to see what we achieve next. Happy graduation, everyone. Thank you.
Hello, classmates, friends, mentors, professors, and family. I'm honored to be able to address you all today as we celebrate a milestone and monumental achievement in our lives. I am grateful to be reaching out to you in good health and hope that you and your families are also staying safe and healthy. Congratulations, class of 2020. We are done. We are done with homework, tests, and projects. We are done with lectures, labs, and quiz sections. We are done with stressful nights of studying, justifying poor eating habits, and sleeping way too little. We are done squeezing in naps on the couch in the ASC lounge, sometimes even sleeping the night there. And we are done sneaking full on meals into the dungeon in preparation to not see daylight for the next 5 hours, while the water bottle only rule subtly guilts our subconscious. We are done coming into a quiet Moore Hall on a quiet Saturday, sanding concrete canoes into the early morning, and designing steel bridges for competition, all in between looming John Stanton homework assignments. Also, and more recently, we are finished waiting for professors to begin Zoom meetings, hearing the pain of David Baska unmuting 200 students all at once, and having to apologize for our Netflix stream coming through our mic for the entire class to hear. While reflecting on these experiences, I quickly came to see them as what made college the challenge it was. I was almost quick enough to reach the conclusion that I wouldn't miss these times. But then I reconsidered these experiences, not focusing on what I was doing for the last several years, but who I got to do it with. We are done wasting too much time on assignments that should only take an hour for the sake of hanging out with classmates turned best friends in the computer lab. We are done seeking advice from close friends about future plans while simultaneously complaining about the canoe we're sanding at a ridiculous hour. We are done rushing out of class with classmates, racing to get free food at a lunch and learn. The people I have gotten to meet and the relationships I've made through this department are why I loved my time here at UW. I have made lifelong friends, learned from individuals I consider to be my biggest mentors, and I've been supported by a group of faculty, staff, and grad students who all have had an immense impact on my college experience. If you are watching this, chances are you have, in some way, influenced and shaped the experience I've had in the last 2 years in this department. Thank you. Much like how the people we've met and relationships we've made are inseparable from how we've experienced our time here, having an impact on people and communities is inextricably linked to our trade. As civil and environmental engineers, we decide how individuals and communities interact with their physical world. By choosing to focus on maintaining healthy environments, improving mobility and accessibility, expanding and updating infrastructure, providing critical access to water and energy, and creating more efficient transportation systems, we all have consequently chosen to be responsible in some way for the livelihood of all of society. The decisions we make as engineers, the projects we undertake, and the organizations we work with cannot be separated from the growth and progress, or lack thereof, in the communities we serve. Therefore, it is imperative that we are mindful of the individuals and groups we affect through our practice. We must know the demographics of those who we are serving. We must know their past treatment and neglect and how these affect their present day-to-day lives. Only then can we as engineers work towards creating equitable impact in underserved communities and improve the livelihood of individuals making use of our infrastructure. 2020 has opened all of our eyes to the systemic racism that surrounds us. Disproportionate death rates from the pandemic and inequities in the justice system towards people of color are in the spotlight. Action is being taken to address these issues by members of society that come from all backgrounds, careers, and generations. I ask you, class of 2020, to take a step back and look at how the same inequities carry over into your practice as a civil or environmental engineer. Evaluate how your access to quality infrastructure, or lack thereof, has helped you or hindered you throughout your journey to and through UW. Realize that you are now in a position to create equity through infrastructure. Make a commitment, no matter what your focus, field, or geographic location, to design and build in the way that will best serve the individuals around you. Thank you for an unforgettable 4 years, CEE. I cannot wait to see what we'll go on to achieve. Please stay in touch and know that I miss seeing you all right here at Moore Hall. And as always, go Dogs.